2018 Bentley Continental GT Coupe Review. The good points of Bentley Continental GT Coupe: surprisingly quick, supple ride, luxurious cabin, feels special they are driving. The bad points of Bentley Continental GT Coupe: W12 engine extravagance, rear cabin space, expensive running. There's a formidable sense of Britishness around the second-generation Bentley Continental GT Coupe, on the imposing yet Volkswagen styling for an interior swathed with lashings of leather and charm. It's luxurious playing with a nevertheless slightly quaint manner. Not only is Bentley available because this two-door, four-seater coupe, there's a Continental GT convertible also to be had, alongside an increased, but nonetheless closely related, four-door saloon version, the Flying Spur. Such could be the Bentley's mix of spaciousness, relatively speaking, performance and refinement. They have few direct rivals, the nearest contenders being the Aston Martin DB11, high-end versions from the evergreen Porsche 911 Coupe as well as the Mercedes-Benz Class Coupe. Twin turbocharged performance. Despite the lightest Continental GT Coupe tipping the scales at 2,295 kilograms, performance is absolutely nothing short of prodigious. The entry-level V8 model can crack the 0.62 mph acceleration standard in 4.8 seconds before reaching a premier speed of 190 mph. Turbocharging could be the key here, in other words a two of turbos, is. Whether you choose to buy the 4.0-liter V8 engine or even the unusual 6.0-liter W12, imagine two 3.0-liter V6s sat next to one another. Twin turbocharging sees power outputs which can be between 507 horsepower and 642 horsepower. Needless to state, you'll be incredibly fortunate to obtain anything nearby the V8's official fuel consumption claim of 26.8 miles per gallon in person. Four models can be obtained: GT V8, GT V8s 528 horsepower, GT no model name mention of the W12 engine, with 590 horsepower and GT speed together with the 642 horsepower addition with a larger power plant. Sporty yet comfortable drive. The Bentley's considerable heft blunts its outright agility along twistier roads, but a blend of all-wheel drive and wide tires make sure that traction isn't broken, still permitting you to corner briskly, if not while using finesse of that rivals. Conversely, few cars whatsoever come around matching the Continental GT's suppleness over harsh road surfaces, behaving a lot more limousine than many supposedly luxury saloons can come near to. So long as you're not anticipating deliver the ultimate representation of wieldiness, you're unlikely to get disappointed because of the Bentley's dynamic blend. Luxuriously appointed. Bentley's hallmark of exquisite craftsmanship adorns and embellishes the Continental GT, together with the finest leather, heavyweight chrome fixtures and seamless veneers enveloping the somewhat snug interior. Needless to mention, there certainly are a raft of personalization options in case you wish to spend a lot of money tailoring the automobile to your own tastes. Bear in mind that the Continental GT is Bentley's most widely used model, so modifications which are too brash and outlandish might make it difficult to promote further in the future. One normally associates the initials GT, for Grand Tourer, with powerful four-seaters with sufficient room for adults in addition to their luggage. However, the sculpted rear seats are in short supply of both head and legroom, which makes them better suited to preteens. There's a hat tip to Bentleys of old with delightful organ-stop air vent controls, though the more modern switchgear and controls still feel special, if slightly heavy functioning. It's a sign of how soon technology has marched on. The graphics around the multimedia system and also the screen nestled between your two classic analog dials look dated. Watch the whole Bentley Continental GT Coupe review how good this bruiser is. Up to 642 horsepower accessible in W12 guys. More efficient V8s sound sportier. Twin turbos whichever you decide on. Heritage could be the name in the game at Bentley, so there won't be efficient hybrids or diesels within the Continental GT lineup, just a couple of large petrol engines, each blessed without requiring one, but two turbos. V8 power for relative discretion. It's debatable whether a twin-turbo, 4.0-liter V8 engine is the fact that inconspicuous, nonetheless it's the entry point on the Continental GT range. Its throaty exhaust note is steeped in desirability so that it never seems like you've scrimped if this would be the one you plump for, but unsurprisingly it can be, fractionally, the product range's most frugal offering. Not that the state claim of 26.8 miles per gallon could be the most important statistic when researching a powerful coupe, so instead relish the prospect of 507 horsepower with a sonorous 6,000 revolutions per minute as well as an impressive 660 Nm of torque from just 1,400 revolutions per minute. That's enough for the 190 miles per hour top speed, requiring just 4.8 seconds to accelerate from 0.62 miles per hour, sharing the essential power plant though with uprated performance may be the V8s. You're thinking about 192 miles per hour and 4.5 seconds for that 0.62 miles per hour time here, due to 528 horsepower and 680 Nm of torque, albeit from 1,700 revolutions per minute. Unusual W12 engine with the flagships. Engines in high-performance cars usually consist of their cylinders in a varied configuration. Even so, the 6.0-liter twin-turbo Volkswagen-sourced unit Bentley employs has its own 12 arranged in the W. In essence it's two V6 units sat side by side, hence the pattern looks something such as a W in view dundon. Although the cars carry W12 badging, models fitted with this particular power plant are known simply as Continental GT, no contrived naming here. Instead it lets its 590 horsepower output carry out the talking. That's sufficient to propel the Bentley onto a top-notch speed of 198 miles per hour. There's 720 Nm of torque available from 1,800 revolutions per minute. However, its 4.5-second 0.62 miles per hour time merely matches the V8s. Topping the range will be the GT Speed, with further power and torque increases as much as 642 horsepower and 840 Nm at 2,000 revolutions per minute respectively. That shaves the 0.62 miles per hour time right down to 4.1 seconds as you move. The top speed can be a claimed 206 miles per hour. Caress the throttle pedal at any speed, plus the Bentley surges forward relentlessly. Regardless of engine choice, all GTs are fitted which has a silken 8-speed automatic gearbox, with wonderfully tactile steering column wands for manual control of the ratio selection. Heaviness blunts outright agility. Four-wheel drive enhances traction. Air suspension delivers poise. Despite the beautifully sculpted bodywork and rakish fastback styling, the Bentley Continental GT Coupe seems like it's heavy along with the scales don't lie. With the lightest inside range like a portly 2,295 kilograms, that's not only a great recipe for agile handling. What's surprising is the fact it's far away from a disaster, and for any large car it's remarkably well composed, largely due on the standard fit air suspension system. Not only creates this change-preserve poise when changing direction quickly, it may also help deliver a cosseting degree of ride comfort, striking an excellent compromise between sportiness and suppleness, albeit biased towards latter. Disappointingly, that same detached sensation you get in the ride quality can be obtained elsewhere from the Continental GT's controls, There's a satisfying weight for the steering wheel, pedals and gear change paddles, but none of those feel particularly involving to make use of. The message here isn't an undesirable one, it's simply that Bentley chooses to differentiate the Continental GT looking at the competition by focusing upon luxurious performance as an alternative to an intrinsic power to dart about. Despite that remoteness in accordance with its rivals, you won't ever feel unsure how it's about to respond once you do ramp up speeds on winding back roads. Traction and road holding are strong points courtesy in the Bentley's all-wheel drive system, complemented by wide wheels. In slipperier conditions, the Bentley will be able to carry more speed through corners than its rear-wheel drive alternatives. Although carbon ceramic brakes are optional, due to the nature from the Continental GT, we'd stick with all the standard steel ones which offer ample stopping power. Consider the extra cost items if you're planning regular track driving escapades. Beautifully built cabin. Feels slightly outdated. Fine visibility levels. It won't take very long to get used towards the Bentley Continental GT's charming interior, though it does feel something of the throwback, particularly with all the eyeball air vents and organ stop controls. All the controls tend to be or less where you'd anticipate finding them, even though starter button about the wrong side from the center console feels as though a SOP to left-hand drive cars, even though the column stalks to the indicators and wipers set to low down as being the gear change paddles occupy their usual location. There's a satisfying weighting towards the controls, and there's little proof much VW Group parts being redeployed inside Bentley, and sideway you'll spot them inside Bentga. The biggest giveaway would be the multimedia system with graphics inferior to individuals you'd find within a humble Golf. It's a tactile interior, and you'll end up caressing the piece of furniture whenever you're sat idly at traffic lights to relish the craftsmanship. Visibility is okay, and although windows look relatively narrow, as the Continental GT's a sizable car, they're actually quite big. The door-mounted mirrors afford you an excellent view on the road behind, as well as being the Bentley's shapely rear haunches. Air suspension is supple. Luxurious environment in the beginning. Rear of cabin short on space. Unlike several cars on this segment, there's a definite comfort bias inside Bentley Continental GT's ride and handling setup, making it a good car to protect huge distances quickly. Yes, it's quick, however its ultimate agility is compromised by its weight, as well as the fact Bentley customers typically demand being cosseted. You can raise the firmness with the standard air suspension system, nevertheless it feels more in step with its luxurious intent, and keep it in comfort mode and waft along imperiously. Front seat occupants will see there's enough space to luxuriate in, while you do feel slightly hemmed in from the thickness from the center console and chunky door panels. The seats can be superb and feel a lot more special in Mulliner driving specification guise. Here you will get the air-conditioned seat ventilation and electrical heating on concurrently, in case you so desire. Those within the back fare less well. It's delightfully trimmed back there, but it really's short on space, for both heads and legs for any person much taller as opposed to average child within their early teens. Keep a feeling of perspective here, though. Adults rarely fit comfortably from the back of any luxury sports coupe. One touch that provides the coupe something with the feel of their convertible sibling is always that you can lower all four side windows, allowing cool outside air to permeate the cabin with the turbulence to blow yours or perhaps your passenger's hair around. 4 models available. All feel luxurious. Wide choice of options. Comprising of 4 models, which has a choice of 4.0 and 6.0-liter twin-turbo engines, the Continental GT range is refreshingly straightforward to learn. Standard Bentley Continental GT coupe equipment. Describing a Bentley as standard doesn't remotely do the auto justice. Here you're not only buying off-the-shelf equipment elements, nevertheless the time, dedication and craftsmanship associated while using crew-based Mark and its particular team of experienced staff. Starting point with the range could be the GT V8. Take essentials, for instance, electrically operated windows, door mirrors and seats, in addition to dual-zone climate control as watch. Distinguishing the V8 are a number of dark fiddleback eucalyptus or dark-stained madrone veneers with the dashboard, center console and doors, a leather and chromette-rimed gear lever and 4 different colors of leather upholstery. Outside there's air suspension with continuous damping control, 20-inch 6-spoke alloy wheels, black brake calipers, twin Figuria Fate exhausts, a chroma look grille, Bixenon headlamps with LED main beam and red badging. Building upon that would be the sportier GT V8s, subtly differentiated inside by piano black veneers along with a knurled arc knob. The exterior changes are better obvious, having a black mesh grille and similarly hued body kit for the Bentley's lower extremes, while behind the 20-inch open-spoke alloys are red brake calipers. There's no W12 reference for that next model up, it's simply known as being the GT, which doesn't look dissimilar through the V8 model. Inside there's a far more luxurious feel with burr walnut trim replacing the eucalyptus option, having a choice of 17 leather colors, including two-tone options. Save for just a set of W12 badges for that wings and oval tailpipes, the exteriors are similar too. Changes for that GT speed are unsurprisingly a hybrid of both W12 engine GT as well as the V8s, so in the black veneers sit alongside the broader spectrum of leather colors. As part with the Mulliner driving specification, in addition, it benefits from diamond quilted leather, a hide headlining and alloy pedals. Outside it's more distinctive with dark tint watch gray grills, lights and 21-inch speed alloy wheels, even though body kit could be the same color as being the rest on the car. Optional Bentley Continental GT Coupe accessories. Although the Continental GT is costly to begin with, alternatives considerably more cash a raft of personalization options. As ever, we advise caution here. You could possibly fancy a non-standard matte copper paint scheme with contrasting verdigris quilted leather, but odds are nobody else will with regards to selling it on. A new Bentley specialist is able to talk you through options that will help come resale time. More sensible would be the option bundles available, grouping together quite a few more desirable specification elements into cohesive packages. Choose the Mulliner driving specification for any choice of 3 designs of 21-inch alloy wheel, diamond pattern quilted leather and drilled alloy sports pedals. Pick Premier specification for any reversing camera, ventilated and massaging front seats, adjustable front armrests as well as a high-end NIM speakers. Further personalization is available while using interior style specification, featuring diapile mats, a special leader in contrast color stitching towards the leather surfaces. Not crash-tested by experts at Euro NCAP. Based on proven VW technology. All models feature all-wheel drive. You won't find details in the Bentley Continental GT's safety score for the Euro NCAP website, as it's not been tested with the crash analysis experts. However, don't fear, because parent company Volkswagen has an excellent reputation at succeeding on these tests, plus the Bentley is founded on tried and tested VW hardware. Naturally, you'll get the cabin in the middle of airbags, while a suite of electronic stability systems and 4-wheel drive help prevent the vehicle becoming too leery in tricky conditions. LED lighting technology also ensures you're easily seen by other road users. Useful 358-liter boot capacity. Seats 4, almost. Luxury finishes don't promote practicality. Chances are that in case you're considering a Bentley Continental GT, you'll watch you use a car or two as part of your fleet. That's somewhat more practical, not how the crew-built coupe disgraces itself weighed against its key rivals. You're unlikely to sniff at 358 liters of boot space. That's more than ample for the couple of cases as well as other sundries for any spontaneous drive on the French Riviera, and there's a decent amount of cabin space compared to other cars on this segment. Just keep expectations sensible. You are unlikely to obtain palatial levels of rear room indifferent to door coupe. Having a Continental GT each and every day wouldn't prove a chore either. There's ample storage space, with sensible cubbies dotted concerning the cabin. Your main issue are going to be not wanting to damage the high-quality wood and leather finishes that envelope the inner